Good afternoon, everybody. Do you believe in karma? Or do you believe in curse, bad spirits, or revenge? What if the bad spirits or the curse of dinosaurs come all the way to Earth and come all the way to human beings to take revenge on us like this? The dinosaurs, which lived 3 million years ago, are believed to be one of the major sources for fossil fuels from which we extract coal, natural gas and oil. Maybe it's the curse or the bad spirits of dinosaurs which are the causes for the bad effects of fossil fuels, which is a big threat to mankind and to the planet Earth. One of the main bad effects of fossil fuels is the global warming and the consequent climate change. As you can see here, this graph, the left picture, which shows the global temperature rise from 1880s to 2010, and as you can clearly see that there is a gradual rapid increase of the global planet temperature in the span of 30 years, which is clearly due to the global warming and climate change. And the right picture shows a poor skinny polar bear, which is a victim of this global warming, the climate change and the unusual ice melting, due to which these poor animals starve without food and they die in many numbers every year. Another problem is the pollution in the ocean due to the oil spill from the ships which transport oil and from oil rig and other containers and all these logistics. And this kills and poisons the sea living animals, the sea organisms and the terrestrial livings, and also it toxicates the seafood which we eat, which again impacts the human health. And last but not least, let's not forget the geopolitical global tension for oil resources and the economy which is related to that. The current estimated reserve analysis shows that we won't have oil, natural gas and oil in, let's say, 30 to 40 years. And consequently, the fuel prices will shoot up due to the demand for the oil resources and natural gas in 50 years. And in 100 years, we all have to change to vegans and stop eating animals, because animals have to be used to pull the cars, which won't have apparently any fuel to fill. So it's clearly time for alternative energy source. Solar energy is one of the major available abundant energy source, which is in high production in most of the countries these days, right from Germany, Italy, and to Japan, China. But in some countries like Germany, they have enormous production of solar energy, and they have energy in surplus, and sometimes it's wasted. And that's a clear imbalance between the surplus energy available in countries like Germany and then between the less available energy in some other countries. So this surplus energy should be saved and stored to create a balance between surplus energy and the energy demand in some other countries. So we need some energy storage devices to store this surplus energy. Lithium or sodium ion batteries are one of the efficient energy storage devices which is everywhere these days. You cannot ignore them in most of the applications. It is very much attached to the people that these days you cannot see a person without power bank. So this is the lithium or sodium ion batteries in the charge state, and as you can see here, during the charge process the lithium ions are intercalated in the negative electrode or anode, and during the discharge process the lithium ions move towards the cathode part, and they parallelly release the electrons through the external load pathway, and we extract the current flow for our application through this pathway. Now, I currently work on the anode part, which is the negative electrode, and the commercial anode material is graphite, which is very good in terms of cost and in terms of low electrode potential, which is very good for high cell potential. And the problem with the graphite anode material is the relatively low capacity in terms of mass and volume. So I'm working with tin as anode material, which has relatively higher capacity in terms of mass and volume, and also it's relatively cheaper, and it has low electric potential, which again accounts to high cell potential. But bulk metallic tin experiences volume expansion and contraction during the lithium insertion and extraction process, due to which the bulk or metallic tin experiences pulverization of the particles, and then due to which there is a loss of conductivity, and due to which the capacity fades down, which is a real problem here. So we have come up with a nanorattle core shell setup in which the tin nanoparticles are placed inside the carbon shell with a void in between the tin nanoparticles and carbon shell, due to which during the volume expansion and contraction due to lithium insertion and extraction, it forms a cushion and buffer to survive the volume expansion, and this prevents the breaking of particles, and then you don't lose conductivity, and then you don't lose the capacity. So let me demonstrate this by these videos. Boom! So the green balloon is the bulk or metallic tin particles, and then during the volume expansion and contraction due to lithium insertion and extraction, that at one point the particles break, and then we lose capacity due to the loss of conductivity, as I said before. So the water bottle here is the carbon shell, a flexible carbon shell, and as you clearly see that during the volume expansion and contraction, due to the presence of this carbon shell, the blue balloon, which is the tin nanoparticles, they expand and contract, but they don't break each other. So the particles don't pulverize, and then we don't lose capacity. So this is what we have achieved so far. We have the tin and carbon nanorattle setup. So we started with the formation of tin nanoparticles inside the carbon shell here, as you can see in this picture as well, that this is the carbon shell, and then we have the tin nanoparticles inside, and then finally we managed to form a void in between the tin nanoparticles and the carbon shell, which will be a buffer to survive the volume expansion. So to conclude, what I foresee in near future is that the battery technology has all potential to break all barriers and come up with an advanced technology to be commercialized in all forms. And for that, I believe that it has to follow through this loop, which starts from safety, cost, and size. Safety is the thing which we cannot compromise at any point, but the cost is again a compromise with the performance. And then we should go for lighter and smaller batteries, so that we don't have to pull an elephant-like car to have a high performance. Having said this, I thank our boss, Dr. Katarina From, for all support and assistance, and I thank Dr. Nanki for all her support. I thank my colleagues at FreeMed for all the machine support and all the internet support, and I thank Adolf Merkel Institute for all the instrument support. And finally, I thank the funding agencies for all funding support. Thank you very much. Good afternoon, everybody. Do you believe in karma? Or do you believe in curse, or bad spirits, or revenge? What if the dinosaurs come all the way to the planet Earth and come all the way to human beings to take a revenge on us like this? The dinosaurs, which lived 3 million years ago, are believed to be the major source of fossil fuels from which we extract natural gas, coal, and oil. And maybe it's the bad spirit or the curse of the dinosaurs that we have the causes of the bad effects of fossil fuels, which is a big threat to the mankind and planet Earth. One of the deadliest effects of fossil fuels is the global warming and the consequent climate change, by which we have a global increase in temperature. So this graph in the left shows the global temperature rise from 1880s to 2010, and as you can clearly see that there is rapid gradual increase of the temperature of planet Earth in the span of 30 years. And the right picture shows a skinny poor polar bear which is a victim to this global warming and the consequent climate change, and the unusual ice melting, due to which these poor animals starve without food and they die in high numbers every year. Another problem is the pollution in the ocean due to the oil spill during the transport of oil from ships and oil rigs, and this kills and poisons the sea life organisms and terrestrial livings, and also they toxicate the seafood, which is a threat to the human health as well. Last but not least, let's not forget the global geopolitical tension over the oil resources and the economy related to that. So the estimated reserve analysis shows that we won't have natural gas and oil in the next 30 to 40 years, which means that consequently the fuel prices will rise up, and due to the demand for natural gas and oil in 50 years, and then in 100 years we all have to change the vegans and stop eating animals, so that these animals can be used to pull our cars, which won't have apparently any fuel to fill. So it's time for an alternative energy source. Solar energy is one of the main abundant available energy source, which is in high production these days in most of the countries, ranging from Germany, Italy, China, and Japan. But in some countries like Germany, they have enormous amount of energy production, and they have surplus energy, which is sometimes wasted as well. So there is clearly an imbalance between the surplus energy produced in countries like Germany and also the energy deficiency in some other countries. So to create a balance between the surplus energy and the energy demand all over the globe, we need to store the energy, and we need energy storage devices. Lithium or sodium-ion batteries are one of the efficient energy storage devices, which is the most everywhere. People are very much attached to lithium and sodium-ion batteries that you cannot find anyone without a power bank these days. During the charge process, the lithium ions intercalate to the negative electrode or the anode part, and during the discharge process, the lithium ions move towards the cathode or the positive electrode, also releasing the electrons through the external pathway, and these external pathway gives us the current which we use for many applications. And I work on the anode part, which is the negative electrode of the batteries. The current commercial anode material is graphite, which is very good in terms of cost and also very good in terms of low electrode potential, which in turn accounts to high cell potential. But the problem with the commercial graphite electrode is the less capacity in terms of mass and volume. So I'm working with tin anode material, which has relatively higher capacity in terms of mass and volume, and it is relatively cheaper, and also it has low electrode potential, which accounts to higher cell potential as well. But these bulk or metallic tin experiences volume expansion and contraction during the course of lithium insertion and extraction, due to which the tin pulverizes and then it loses contact with each other, which means that it loses conductivity, and then you lose capacity finally, which is a problem. So we have come up with a nanorattle core shell setup in which the tin nanoparticles are placed within a carbon shell with a void in between tin nanoparticles and carbon shell. So that during the volume expansion, during the lithium insertion and extraction, the carbon shell forms a buffer, a cushion to survive the volume expansion, and by this manner the tin nanoparticles, they don't break, they don't pulverize, and they don't lose conductivity, and then we don't lose the capacity. So let me demonstrate this with a couple of videos. Boom! So the green balloon is the bulk metallic tin, which expands during the volume expansion, and then it breaks at one point. Now, what if a carbon shell is formed around tin nanoparticles? Perfect. So the water bottle, which is the carbon shell, which is flexible, and it forms a cushion and buffer to survive the volume expansion and extraction. And as you can see that it's quite reversible during the volume expansion and extraction, and it doesn't break. And then by this way, we don't lose the capacity and conductivity. So this is what we have achieved so far. We have the tin and carbon composite material. So we managed to form the tin nanoparticles inside the carbon shell. The carbon shell is here, as you can see here also in this picture. This is the microscopic picture. We have the carbon shell, and then we managed to form the tin nanoparticles inside the carbon shell. And then finally we managed to form a void between the tin nanoparticles and carbon shell, and thereby to reduce the breaking of particles due to volume expansion and contraction. So to conclude, what I personally foresee is there is a huge potential for battery technology to break all barriers and to get commercialized in all ways, provided they follow this loop ranging from safety to cost and size. Safety is a thing which we can never compromise, but the cost can be compromised in terms of performance, and we need to have lighter and smaller batteries so that we don't have to pull an elephant-like car to have high performance. Having said this, I would like to thank Professor Dr. Katharina Fromm for all her support and assistance, and I would like to thank Dr. Nanki for all her assistance and support as well. And I would like to thank my colleagues, and I'm grateful to FreeMat for all the mission support, and I would like to thank Adolf Metal Institute for all the instrument support as well. And finally, I'm very grateful to the funding agencies, and I thank you all for your kind attention. Thank you.